You guys see that natural light? That natural light? My lights ain't even on. I don't even have my lights on. You still see my eyes, my beautiful face? Oh, damn. And speaking of beautiful, speaking of beautiful, we got, well, not this credits. Announcement de eso. Announce this. There she is, man. I honestly think that they reversed it. Like, I honestly feel like Corgi was gonna come out, because in the video, Corgi comes after Shell. But they was like, bro, man, we can get some good money in the beginning of December. Why make them wait? So next up is gonna be Cat Guardian CHATI in the building. She's gonna be available after maintenance on Thursday, which is tomorrow, which is really sad. But doesn't mean we can't look at some little tidbitsy ditsies, all right? We could look at some little tidbits. Just like, well, actually, no. If I can't get an in-game model, I mean, the only in-game model I could potentially get is from that video. So I'll do the best that I can. I know we can look at her kit, so I guess we can look at her kit and then make a review, because pretty much once the character comes, I just want to do the summon video on the character, and that'd be a whole separate video. That's kind of what I want to do. So what's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today we're going to be going over the Cat Guardian Knight, the new and improved CHATI. And look at this outfit, man. Like, I mean, I feel like you didn't see as much armor. Maybe it's because the hair, you see the hair, but she's way less clothed than she was before, because they know that they want to sell the units. But you know, she looks cool, and you know, I think that she doesn't look too much like a knight, and I kind of like when a knight has different things about them. You usually only see this in MMOs, I think. Usually that's the only way you can really do it. You really can't do it in an action adventure game. But in MMOs, sometimes they don't have the standard tank, like the tank that actually just absorbs damage. In MMOs, I think it's in like Final Fantasy 14 and stuff like that. They'll actually have a tank that it'll dodge everything. Like, the tank is meant to taunt and then dodge everything, or do something of that nature, or there's just different ways of implementing a tank to make it more fun, or make a different experience for the user. So I don't know why I went into that tangent, but she doesn't look like a tank anymore. Her armor is way more lighter. I mean, she traded all the heavy stuff. She's like, you know what? I'll be more nimble naked. I mean, you can see the couch, and you can, you know, it's just. I mean, look at this. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. It's just ridiculous. Like, this is crazy, overly. You know, what is it? Some feminists complain about. You know, why are they going to war with such less armor? And the guys are like, I don't see a problem with this. What is exactly the issue that you have with her clothing? But honestly, she's really good. She doesn't get anything too crazy. She is going to still get the Dimensional Leap, the Dragon Knight Blessing, which is cool. So technically you're supposed to be using her in the Dragon Knight. And of course, she still gives up the barrier. I'm hoping, yes! They changed it! Yes! They changed it, because the old one only went to the back row, which was a fucking nightmare to use. That's like, this is just like quality of life. I feel like even with Shell and, like, you know, I feel like all of them, I think Corgi's probably gonna get shafted because he has 2 attack moves, so rip him. There's probably not gonna be much they're gonna add. Someone said you can see Corgi, but I don't care to. I don't want to put that effort in, I'll be honest with you. But when it comes down to CHATI, oh my god, it was so annoying trying to do this stupid thing. So I'm really happy that they are changing it to that the barrier hits all allies, so it does not matter where she is. If you want to give her a barrier, you had to put her in the back row, but in PvP, you know, it only hit your back row and allies. It was just a pain in the ass. And she, of course, just like all the other ones, she increases her own max HP. I don't know actually the order of that, like, does she give herself the max HP then do the barrier, which would be nice because then it would scale properly. But yeah, it also makes it good to get HP, and you guys already know, well, actually it doesn't work that well because she's a knight, so even when you go unlock potential for a knight, it's gonna scale off her defense, so that doesn't do anything. I still think stacking HP wouldn't be that bad of a thing, right? But then you're also gonna have here the Miracle Meteor drop, which I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how both of these moves. This move is gonna look okay because, you know, before it was like the eyes, it was like a lotto. I don't think you're gonna get much of a lotto out of this, right? Like, look at the weird, crazy shit of that. And then the meteor drop is gonna be pretty cool because before it was like she launched you into the sky after collecting a couple stars and launched you, and now it's gonna be something else because the weapon design is different. It might look the same, but I feel like these are gonna be like I really hope that it's like the synergy. Like, I hope everything is like synergy. It's the same way like the banger. Everything is slightly different. Doesn't have to be dramatically different. I've said this multiple times. Does not need to be dramatically different. Just has to be, you know, something a little different, just so you know it's a different character. And that's really gonna be it for that. I just want to go over, since I'm technically making this a review, but I want to go over her actual stats, you know, just so we are on the same page, so we get a little bit more glimpse. But we did it reverse. I'm trying different ways to make the review a little bit more spicy, dicey. So look at baby girl, man. She's the last faded in the journal, man. Not anymore. CHATI the Invincible. Like, she's such a little cutesy girl here. I'm really curious on how they change how her personality is gonna be. Like, technically, Shell went from a good girl somehow, like a good little annoying little girl, like, you know, like, I'm playing with dolls and puppets, and then she was like, you know what, I really like this puppet shit. Let's find these dead bodies. I'm curious of how she's going to attitude and everything like that. The voice lines and stuff like that's going to be really important. We're going to go over all of that in the video once she actually drops. Now let's just look at these. Look at this. So when we look at the HP, it's still going to be relatively high because she is a support. Defense is actually not that bad. 1104 is not that bad. I think she must be a different code of tank. Like, if I were to look at, you know how some of these other ones, you see her block is 210. There's I think like 2 codes of tense. You know, there's always the like, there's 2 kinds of attackers, 2 types of mages, like there's an assassin versus this, you know. So I don't know which one this one is, but I mean, these are pretty good stats. 52 attack speed is going to make her, you know, middle of the road, I say. So she's going to be attack speed amongst the last, you know, of the turn order. You're not getting that buff off that early, and you're not getting that stun off early either. So, but at least she has good block. She does have crit, which is kind of awkward. But having high crit right now in the meta, the higher your crit is, the better off you are, because if your attack crits, your signature force crits. So those 2 happening, as long as you do get a crit, that's gonna be great. Plus, Shell is making everyone crit, at least crit more, because crit hit even at 100 is weird. So as you can see, she's above 100. I don't know how crit hit defense works, like how do you make a crit like go down, but whatever. Hit is 100, which is good for a tank, you know, or any character if you want them to hit their skill. And dodge is 99. So I think her stats are pretty good. She's gonna be able to do well. She just needs to get that turn, and then hopefully since most of her cooldowns are, see, this one's 3 and I think this one's 2 or 4. 2, like not high mana. So as long as a couple people went before her, like even just 1, and everyone runs a general, then usually, especially if you're running Dorka, everyone's gonna have that free mana. She's usually gonna have access to her skills. She just needs the turn. So the more HP oriented, or if you want to go the little defense thing, which I won't recommend, I definitely think you're just going to want to go HP, which is going to be red, just because it's the scaling of the barrier. Now, barriers seem to be going to be out of style and all the other stuff everyone's going to think. But remember, the only way that FC Shell even does that is if you are charmed. Let me just double check on that. Did they change this? This is 40% of backside. Let me check what the other one is actually. Okay, there we go. So they did change it, right? Because before it was 40% to the back row, which technically would give a fatter shield, but it didn't give her increased HP. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that the increased HP goes first, and then she gives 17%, a smaller amount, but to more people, guaranteed to hit more people. So there is that. And as you guys saw before, it was a sleep. Also, no, the mana stays the same, 3. This was 2 mana. This is going up by 2 mana, but it's turning into a stun, which is just dramatically more consistent of a CC. So she just became just a more solid, a more regular character, or decent to respect character. And again, stun, guys, right? And what did they just change with Lygen? Stuns, free stuns. I honestly think that they are trying to bring back, or actually firstly introduce CT into the meta. I remember a long time ago I tried to make Griselle a good unit because she has a blind, and I thought, yo man, if she can just get that blind on a character, and still I think it is relevant if they ever changed her up and make her, you know, I don't know, faster or some dumb shit. You know, putting blinds on characters, you know, you eliminate them as a threat for, I think her blind was like 7 turns, 6 turns. Like, that character pretty much is losing their turn, but she's slow, so she can't affect anyone strong, and she can't affect Rara, because you can't take away status effect immunity yet. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing eventually too, because status effect immunity, now Shell's giving it out, now it's part of the supports. Unleash potential. There's a lot of nonsense that's coming around, I do think. But are you ready for it is the real question. So yeah, just to double check, like I said, barriers are still okay. You have to be charmed and hit by the last chapter in order for it to work. 9 times out of 10, your tanky characters in the front line are going to be charmed and they won't be able to receive a barrier. That's about all that is, you know. The back line of your characters are like a 50-50. This depends on how strong the Janai is. So I still think that you can still get these barriers off. At least, at the very least, you'll be protecting your back line. So I don't think that it's going to be bad if Chatti's in the meta. I don't think that the first Guardians are dead or something like that. It's mostly, you know, especially if you're on equal terms with someone, the only people that are always going to be affected is going to be the front line. So I still think that Chatti will be perfectly fine to enter the meta, or at least give her a shot in the meta. Let me know what you guys are thinking. What do you guys think about Chatti? I mean, a lot of us, especially myself, just like the design, but this is it's a good design. It's unlike Glenn. Actually, Glenn is actually better than I gave him credit for, because when he does his S1, he actually always, FC Glenn in the back, you see him in the back, he actually always makes you into a fish, because they check for a buff or positive effect after the hit, so he actually always does it. I didn't know that when I first reviewed him, so he's actually slightly better than what I gave him credit for. But as far as a good design plus a really good rework on how the character works in total is just phenomenal for Chatti. So I think that she's definitely going to be a lot of people summon. I'm on an overflow of ZEUZ because I didn't have to. I only did 2 summons for Shell, so I can actually go full pity if I really want to, but I kind of don't want to. But at the same time, you know, I'll take what I have to do, and then hopefully we get some good stuff along the way. That will be definitely coming to the channel as soon as she's live. I don't know if she'll be live. She shouldn't be live when it resets today because it's still going to be Wednesday, but it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. YFOs in the comment section below. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And remember that every day the Kashino is your lucky day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.